At Christmas, thanks in no small part to Charles Dickens, our thoughts naturally turn to those who are struggling. I always think of my paternal grandfather at this time of year, who would donate each Christmas to the Salvation Army, in a show of gratitude for their care of my grandmother, who was born in one of their homes. I have continued the tradition since he died. Others donate to, or volunteer at homeless shelters, give to food banks. In London, the charity St. Mungo's will be hosting Christmas dinner for 200 people at Euston Station, which will be decked out in festive glory. In Stockport, 35-year-old Natalie Leck is cooking 200 turkey dinners for people spending the day alone, as she herself did last year when her children spent Christmas with their father. These acts of generosity inspire many of us. When you are poor, it can affect every part of your life. Your physical and mental health suffers, and if you have children, so do theirs. The Institute for Fiscal Studies predicts a 37% increase in child poverty in Britain due to welfare cuts. The Children's Trust found that many children in London will receive fewer Christmas presents this year than the average British family pet, which gets £22 worth. The Young Women's Trust released figures last week saying that 1 in 3 young parents struggle to afford Christmas. The universal credit catastrophe means that many claimants won't get their benefit money until after the festive season. When you're surrounded by consumption and materialism while wondering how you can make your money last long enough to feed yourself and your children, let alone buy them presents, the despair can be too much. One Christmas was especially tough as I was pregnant, so the usual skipping meals and cutting corners in December wasn't really an option, one woman told me. The toughest part is that the joy of the season is ultimately replaced with stress and anxiety, and it doesn't dissipate the second the wee ones unwrap their gifts, it lingers. You even find yourself worrying about next Christmas earlier and earlier each year, and God help you if you're still paying off last year. This is echoed by Ruth Patrick, the author of For Whose Benefit? The Everyday Realities of Welfare Reform. My research with people living in poverty found that Christmas and birthdays are flashpoints, where the pressure to buy presents and cook special meals is often simply unmanageable given the financial hardship that individuals face, she says. The people I spoke to were often desperately worried and anxious about Christmas and felt guilty, especially when they could not afford to buy their children presents or participate in family meals and events. In this way, families living in poverty are too often excluded from mainstream celebrations of the festive season.